Hello, good afternoon to LVS Perspectives, number 65, an end-of-term perspective. I can't believe we are here already. And we had to do it today because next week is just too busy with lots of Christmas treats and lots of events and things. So we're going to start today. We're going to be very punchy. We've got a big agenda to get through. And as usual, you can send your comments or questions through on the chat. Okay, Mrs. McCrell, Mrs. Izod, over to you.
It has been a whirlwind, packed term in the IGS, and we're really, really proud of all our children. They've come such a long way. And alongside all the learning they've done, we've also had a really, really busy programme. So if this works. There we go. We're going to start off with all the trips they've been on this term. So year 3, they visited Butser Farm, an ancient village down in that way, Devon Way, Dorset Way, down there.
Just your strong spot.
Down that direction.
Yeah.
We also had year 4 who visited the River and Row Museum in Henley on their rivers topic. We had year 5 who went to Winchester Science Museum as part of their space topic. And we had year 6 who in the WWW2, World War II, had their 40s experience as well over in Bushy, London somewhere. Bushy, that's the one. The year 5 and 6 went off to St George's Park at half term. So 37 of them, I think we took over up to St George's Park and spent a weekend playing hockey and football. Bit soggy. Tried not to drown in the pitches. Some of them were a foot underwater, but we managed to come back nice and dry. And then last week we took the whole infant and junior school up to Theatre Royal in Windsor to the pantomime Aladdin, which was absolutely wonderful, as always. Most exciting part for some of our pupils was going on a double-decker bus.
Yes.
Little picture in the corner there. And just last week, a couple of weeks ago, we had the Year 4 Greek Day, and yesterday Year 5 had a Brazil Day. So it's been a really, really busy term, but lots of learning, hands-on learning and experiences.
Good to enhance what they're learning about.
Absolutely.
So we've also had lots of house competitions going on this term. So the house spirit is well and truly alive in the IJS. We've had house art, which was won by Kennington Hart. Lots of lovely displays up in the IJS hall and now in our reception area in the new display cabinet. We've had house debating, which was judged by our head girl and head boy and also Harry Thomas in the 6th form, who came down and gave us a lovely roundup of the arguments that our children had presented. That was also won by Kennington Hart. Mrs Stearns is starting to get a bit smug. We've got the winners of the house sport, which is going to be announced next week once year 3 and 4 have finished their competition this afternoon, actually, isn't it? And we also have a house quiz going on next Tuesday. So are Kennington Hart going to come out on top full stop? We do not know. Mr Matthews is going to be very upset if they do. He is coaching his house in order to get them through and winning the house quiz. He doesn't like losing, bless him. Really doesn't. We've had some other competitions as well, actually. Mrs Cunliffe, you went over to China, didn't you?
I did.
And brought back some very fluffy pandas.
Yes.
That our children entered a competition to try and win. So they had to either produce a leaflet or a poster or some writing about China. We had lots and lots of entries, beautiful entries. People had really taken some time and put lots of effort in. So we had Mia and Alex, who won the pandas in Key Stage 2. Rupert in reception, who won the EYFS and Key Stage 1 panda. And we also had a special commendation for Michael and Gemma. Michael's been doing some conservation work actually in China to help preserve pandas. And Gemma absolutely produced a fantastic piece of work that really needs a special commendation. We also had a harvest competition where the children produced something on the theme of autumn, and Mrs Robinson, head of DT, was kind enough to come over and judge that for us. And as you can see on the screen, we've got some very proud children there who got to choose their fluffy fruit and vegetables as their prizes, which they were very excited about, which was very nice.
And moving over to the sport and performing arts, lots of success on the sports field for year 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 in their fixtures programme. But also this term, we've had some really big successes in the ISA as well, which has been fantastic to see. So back in October, we had, this is the ISA swimming squad that went up to the not sure they swim in London.
Qualifiers.
The qualifiers, and they're half term for us. These guys went over and competed, and you can see ran their necks, lots and lots of medals. And we had to wait nerve-wrackingly a couple of weeks, Miss Macaulay particularly, to see if we'd qualified for the nationals, which we did. And there's one of our senior school children, but also Sophia and Kai. Sophia came out first in nationals. I think Kai placed fifth in a very, very tough under-11 competition. But we're so proud of all the children who represented the school and had really risk-taking and lots of resilience. We also had our Young Singer of the Year and our Young Musician of the Year competitions. We had Rory in Year 6 won the Key Stage 2 category, and Avia in Year 6 won the Key Stage 2 category in the Young Musician playing the piano, and Tom in Year 5 was awarded Most Promising on the drums as well. And then finally, we had the ISA Girls Football Festival, which we held here at LVS Ascot, and our under-11 girls won the plate competition. And there they are just afterwards. Really, really proud of their achievement there as well. But well done to all our pupils representing the school in different events.
Brilliant. Speaking of lots of events going on, we've also had lots of charity events this term that we've been raising money for. Oh, obviously I didn't put the animation on that photo. Sorry, it's popping up a little bit early. We had a cake sale for the Macmillan coffee morning. We raised almost £300 for Macmillan Cancer. Our Harvest Festival, which was led by the Year 6 pupils, and all the other year groups contributed. The Bracknell Food Bank were absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of food and groceries that were donated, so they asked me to pass on a very, very big thank you. We had a Spotty Mufti Day for children in need. We raised £340 there. A scholastic book fair came in, which was very well attended, very, very busy. So we get some commission for the school to buy some new books as a result of that. The Shorts group, who we have some pupils from that family in the school, were kind enough to offer to come in for Road Safety Week. They brought one of their very big rubbish trucks. Well, it's a very good truck, actually, not a rubbish one at all. But teaching the children all about road safety and about the blind spots in vehicles, which is becoming more and more important as the nights get darker as well. 1.5 metres, apparently, the blind spot all around a truck. So we all learnt something that day. And our Christingle that we held this morning in the sports hall was absolutely beautiful, extremely well attended, and the children were absolutely brilliant. They sat beautifully.
Beautiful photographs coming your way when they come through from our photographer. And finally from us, next week, probably the busiest, excitable,
Most chaotic
week of the school year,
them off the ceiling.
particularly down the lower end. We've got our nativity with our infant department, this aptly named this year, completely coincidentally, the inspectors. So we've got some grumpy guests, we've got some moany old wise men, apparently, sat-nav cat and a star, not a cat, that was last year. So looking forward to our dress rehearsal on Wednesday, our performance to parents on Thursday next week. Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got the Christmas showcase in the theatre. I know Miss Clark will speak more about that shortly. Next Tuesday, the final house event of the year, the house quiz, and also the final house point tally. Kennington Heart, we'll see what happens. Members of our choir, the Year 6 members, are visiting Denham Manor to sing to the old people and bring some festive cheer to the residents there. Year 6 have got their Young Tycoon event next Thursday afternoon, which parents are invited to attend and see what our budding entrepreneurs have been up to there. We've got End of Term Awards Assembly on Friday, our Christmas Jumper Day on Friday, and our Christmas Lunch on Friday. And if our letter got there, we're hoping for a special visitor as well. Fingers crossed the weather is good and he makes an appearance.
We had real snow last year. I don't think we can top that.
No, not at all.
So it's going to be busy.
I think it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be lovely.
And also we've got a staff panto on that last Friday afternoon as well in the afternoon.
Mr. Fisher keeps trying to rope me into that.
It's not the front end or the back end of a donkey, is it?
I actually hoped so. As long as I can be in a costume where I can just...
I think he's having trouble recruiting, so maybe he's going out and headhunting now.
You never know.
You never know. But it's been an amazing term. It's been really busy, hasn't it?
Yes.
And been so much progress as well. And we've done lots of work scrutinies and lesson observations, the children working hard. They've really, they're a credit to everyone, aren't they?
They are. They've been absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. It's been so much fun.
Yeah.
It's been hard work,
Yeah.
but we've had a lot of fun down
Yeah.
in the IJS this term.
Absolutely.
The
It's been
love of
100%.
learning we're seeing is just that's what makes
It's
a
magic.
smile the most.
And what was lovely this morning, coming into Christingle, every single one of them, I was stood by the door, good morning, eye contact, smiling. It was great. We even did a little bit of a dance about Christmas in the street.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So thank you, Team IJS.
Thank
We've
you.
got no questions for you, but I'm sure we'll have a couple of comments coming through. But we are going to zoom over to the very, very busy Miss Clark, who is our Director of Performing Arts. Are you there, Miss Clark?
I am indeed.
Oh, well, over to you.
Thank you. So we have had a super busy term in performing arts, and we're currently very busy. Everyone's getting ready. Well, actually, they're just in lunch at the moment, but getting ready for an afternoon performance of Footloose to some local junior schools and our Year 6 students, who hopefully will learn from these wonderful role models that our senior school are. And there's some pictures there that you can see of some of our leads in the production. They had opening night last night, which was absolutely fantastic and received a standing ovation. And they've got 2 performances today and then 2 performances tomorrow to finish off their fantastic run. And I could not be prouder of how hard these students have worked and how well they've worked collaboratively together to produce this fantastic show. So if you haven't got tickets, unfortunately, tonight is sold out, as is tomorrow night, but there are tickets left for tomorrow afternoon. So please do come along and support them, and I guarantee you will see a fantastic show. We've had a lot of other events on, so these students have all been very busy from the junior school all the way up to Year 13, with events like our Young Singer of the Year and our Young Musician of the Year, as well as house performing arts. And we've had a music concert, an open mic night. And in the half term, we took a group of 4 students who made it through to the final of the ISA dance competition. So we went to Redham House and they performed there and were absolutely outstanding. And we're very proud of the achievement that they have accomplished. And you can see that dance next week in our Christmas showcase. So we have 2 evenings. Tuesday, unfortunately, is sold out, and there are a few tickets left for Wednesday night. Now, this has performances from students in Year 1 all the way through to Year 13. You will see our young voices, our junior school choir, our new voices, our senior school choir, and then collaboratively all together, along with parent staff choir who are performing their own numbers. We're all performing, all 3 choirs together, a fantastic finale number. But there's other things in there as well. We've got some drama performances from our 3 drama clubs, our junior school one and our 2 senior school ones, as well as some other dance numbers, and you can see that ISA performance as well. So a great, lovely way to end the term with 2 festive evenings of our Christmas showcase there, and lots to look forward to next term as well. We've seen huge success, not only in our own events this term with our Young Musician, Young Singer, but we've seen that with Woking Music Festival as well. We had several students go off and represent us over the course of 2 weeks in the evenings. They went to St John's Church in Woking, and they performed in a variety of different categories. And Javin, who also won our Young Musician here, he came back with a stunning trophy, a Mozart, I believe it was, but he won his overall senior piano category, and he's doing excellently. And we've just entered him into the ISA Young Musician of the Year competition. And so we look forward to seeing how well he does in that. We've got lots more ISA competitions to look forward to in the new year with ISA Drama and ISA A Cappella, which we're hoping some of our singers will build on their success from Young Singer and from the production to enter that. So great things to look forward to. And I want to just take this opportunity to thank everyone who supported all of the events that we've put on this term, and all of the students who've taken part. They've shown great talent, but also great confidence, a great determination, and most importantly, they've supported each other, which has been really lovely to see. So thank you very much to everybody, and looking forward to an exciting next 2 terms in performing arts.
Thank you, Miss Clark. And I really don't know where you get your energy from. So if you know how you got it, can you put it in a bottle and put some on my desk? Because you absolutely astound me, yourself and your team, about what you do. And I know Mr. Cupboard's in here as well. I'm going to give him a shout out. How absolutely fantastic team that you have there. And also to our parents, because obviously parents spend a lot of time bringing the children back to school, waiting in a cold car sometimes, coming to see our shows, taking the children out and about just to make sure that we can live this performing arts stream in our school, which is just absolutely superb. So thank you to you and your team, and looking forward to, well, have a good rest first, okay, when you get over this week, and have a lovely Christmas holiday as well. All right, thank you. And now we're going straight over to Mrs. Collins, Head of Wellbeing Compliance. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. It's lovely to be here. I thought today I'd just take a little opportunity to revisit some of the outside speakers that we've had in this term so far. So we started off with the Amy Winehouse Foundation, who came in and spoke to all of our senior school pupils about developing resilience and also developing self-esteem as well. We then had Patrick Foster, who came in a few weeks ago to discuss gambling, addiction and mental health. And he actually has written a book, which you'll see there, Might Bite. So for anyone that's interested in these topics, I have to say it was an absolutely outstanding talk and really thought-provoking, because he had a very similar upbringing to a lot of our students here. And I think some students could really actually relate to Patrick. So it's a really excellent read as well. And then last week, we had the pleasure of welcoming Paul Hannaford to the school, who talked to Year 6 pupils and above about gangs and also drug addiction. I think quite a few of our students found it particularly hard-hitting. Some were feeling slightly unwell during it because it is very graphic. And I think the picture of the maggots in the open wound is probably what a lot of the students will remember. But as we know, that sometimes when these hard-hitting topics are tackled head-on, this is when our students are really going to remember it and actually take heed of the advice that's given within it. Looking forward to next term, we've got some really exciting work taking place with Dr. Hazel Harrison, who really focuses on positive psychology, and we're really working on our whole school approach to wellbeing and embedding our wellbeing into all around our school, into the curriculum, staff wellbeing, parent wellbeing, and also student wellbeing. So we're really excited about that and the positive impact that wellbeing can have on academic performances as well. Our pupils from years 3 all the way to year 13 will be completing the Cambridge Wellbeing Check as well. This is an assessment-based programme developed by Cambridge University, which really focuses on how pupils are feeling. And we can use it at specific times of the year, whether or not it's up to exams, lead up to Christmas, lead up to school holidays, whether there's also some aspects of life that they're finding more challenging. But it will give us a really good insight into how the pupils are feeling, how their wellbeing is going, and also allow us to put any interventions in place to get that wellbeing and the mental health back up to a good and a healthy standard. And just a reminder that all of our parents, as well as students, have access to the Wellbeing Hub, the website from Teen Tips. I'll send out the link to all parents again later on today. But that has some really good guides in it, some resources for parents, how to tackle the difficult conversations with the pupils, guidance and advice. You can ask questions and professionals will get back to you. Patrick Foster, who I just mentioned, he's also very closely linked to the Wellbeing Hub as well. And there is some really useful information on there. Some students will also be tackling some of the courses that are available on the Wellbeing Hub next term. So, for example, those that are taking part in the Bronze DofE can actually do the Mental Health Skills course, which contributes to their Skills Award for the Bronze DofE. So if pupils are still looking for something to do there, then that's available to them. And there's also Wellbeing Ambassadors and mental health courses that we are looking forward to. In the spring term, what we're hoping to do is to run a mental health first aid course and open that up to any parents that are wishing to do it at a slightly discounted rate. So I'll be sending a letter out with the date of when that is. It's a full day. It takes about 8 hours. But again, it really allows you to understand and help to intervene with mental health concerns, whether it's your own children or whether it's family members, but it's really worthwhile. So we will be opening that up to our parents as well. Just a quick talk very briefly on Senso. There's been a few questions that have come through this week with regards to the monitoring software that is currently being implemented. Based on the letters that have been out during this term, what we have decided to do is to run a question and answer session, which will be with Mr. McNaughton and myself in the first week of the January term. But just to kind of answer a couple of the questions now, we currently have a filtering software in place, which is called Smoothwall. This blocks any inappropriate websites on the school Wi-Fi system. The Senso monitoring works through 5G data, I should say, also VPNs and also the school Wi-Fi. And it is only on between the hours of 8:40 and 4 p.m. So it is not constantly monitored, and it's not monitored at home at all. It is really looking at ensuring that our students are working well and on task during lessons, but also that they're not able to access anything inappropriate. And it also allows teachers to have slightly more control when, for example, they want to share a video on YouTube rather than having to search it. They're able to push it out to the students' devices. Now, only team owners are currently able to monitor the device. So if I had a class in front of me at the moment, say, for example, an A-level class, it would only be myself that is able to monitor those pupils' devices. Teachers cannot monitor everybody else throughout the school. So it is very much on that as well. As I said, this allows us to keep up to date with the government guidance and the new legislation that is in keeping children safe in education. It is not designed to intervene in kind of personal usage or anything like that outside of school. And we certainly don't want that necessarily to happen. And it's not about invading privacy. It's just ensuring that we are able to keep our children safe as much as possible through their online safety. Pupils continually have their online safety sessions during life learning. They're aware of the filtering and monitoring software that we also put in school. So I hope that answers some of your questions with regards to Senso. As I said, we will just put a question and answer together for the first week of term and send that out to you. So just the next thing I just want to talk about very quickly is uniform. So as you'll know, and some of your children will probably be telling you, they've maybe received a few detentions for inappropriate uniform. We do place a really strong emphasis on smart appearance because we understand that smart appearance enables our students to, have more pride in their work as well, but also to achieve better. I wouldn't say that nobody looks like Jay from the In-Betweeners, but I'm sure that you'll know that some of the pupils maybe look slightly more like the two pictures on the left of Tiffany Butcher from EastEnders and Jay from the In-Betweeners, rather than those three delightful models that we've got from LVS Ascot on the right-hand side. But just to reiterate, it is really important. Please, 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 can you reiterate the importance of smart uniform over the Christmas holidays? Blazers need to be worn at all times, shirts tucked in, skirts need to be much nearer the knee than they do the bottoms, please. Top buttons done up, no hoops, earrings and jewellery apart from a watch, and earrings need to be studs only. What we're finding more and more as well is these black Nike trainers that are coming in and trying to be disguised as school shoes. They're not quite smart enough, I'm afraid. So we do need to ensure that our children are wearing smart school shoes. And I've got some lovely illustrations there just to demonstrate. So maybe some of the children haven't written their letters to Father Christmas yet. So they might want to just write one asking for a new length kilt or some new school shoes if needed. But if Father Christmas is a bit late, just to let you know that School Blazer do have a flash sale coming up on the 4th and 5th of January. So any in-stock items at that time will be discounted. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Collins, and I think I have to reiterate about the uniform as well, because it's part of what we expect of our pupils, the standards that we uphold in school. And believe me, we're not the only school that have these challenges. I think we see it nationally across the whole country at the moment. But we don't want to waste time picking up students on uniform when they should be concentrating on their learning. And in the spring term, it's very much heads down now, because we will be entering a very important term as far as preparing for exams leading into the summer term as well. So we will take a hard line So please encourage your children, because sometimes they leave the house looking very respectable, and by the time they get to their tutor group, it's a different story, and that's an age-old thing. I know my sister sometimes logs into this, and my sister's a lot older than me, and I know what you were up to when you were in school, and that's a long, long time ago. Okay, so now we're going to go over to Mrs. Petro to give us an academic breakdown.
Okay, hello everybody. So we got to the end of our term and it's been a very, very busy one. This is historically, it's the term where the most work gets done. It's a long term, and it's where we need to make sure, if you're in an exam cohort, finishing off those courses or getting near to the end of the courses. So lots of hard work this term, and as Mrs. Cunningham said, it will go into next term as our pupils start to prepare for their exams, but lots of hard work in the other years as well. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown on some of the things that have happened this term and looking forward into the rest of the academic year, because it does seem to be going very quickly, and it always amazes me how quickly the exam season comes around, and it's all about preparation. So this time we had a very successful round of scholarship interviews and applications and processes, and the results for those will be coming out. They'll be coming out very, very soon. We had over 50 for Year 7 scholarships, and near enough 30 for the Year 12. And I sat in a lot of the interviews myself, part of the panel, and it was absolutely amazing to see some of the fantastic work and initiatives that the pupils that were going for these scholarships had to offer to our community. And we're very excited to be retaining pupils coming up into Year 7 from the junior school, and also lots of our Year 11s are looking at staying on at sixth form, which is really, really great. And some of the ideas that they brought to the table in those interviews were absolutely amazing, particularly interested in those pupils throughout, not just those going into sixth form, but it struck me how many pupils want to get girls football off the ground. That seems to be very popular, and lots of volunteering and entrepreneurship as well. Moving on, GCSE and A-level options. For those of you with a child that is in either Year 11 or Year 9, there have been lots of meetings and presentations this term regarding the GCSE and A-level options process. So for GCSEs, so current Year 9 pupils going into Year 10 next year, they will be sent out lots of information next week, and they'll be given a form to choose their GCSE options. I'm not going to talk about too much about that now, because that's for that particular year group, but that's going to be happening, and they'll have about a month to choose those options. If you do need any more support or help with the GCSE option process, please do get in touch with either myself or Mr. Fraser, who is the head of Year 9. We know that often if you've got the first child taking GCSEs in your house, it can be a little bit confusing of what the best pathway is, but we're here to give advice as needed. We've also had the A-level options. They've come out this week for our Year 11s, who are hopefully looking to stay on with us here. So that's been just giving us an indication as we start to do our planning for next year. We're really excited about our GCSE and A-level offerings next year. We've got some great new courses to offer in our exam years, and we're constantly looking forward to how things are changing, new qualifications that are coming out and that are relevant to our pupils as they move into a world of work that we really don't know what it looks like. So moving on, I just wanted to put a little bit in about the use of AI, artificial intelligence, because it's on everybody's lips at the moment. We've got the Department for Education, who really can't keep up with the changes and how it is affecting education and how we're going to deal with it. We've got the exam boards that are scrabbling around and looking at ways that we can make sure we retain the integrity of our exams. Within school, it's our duty of care to make sure that our children are using artificial intelligence, any AI platforms. They're using them to benefit them, not to hinder their learning. one of the things that I've been looking at a lot with pupils is we need to make sure that they're not using AI to do any kind of coursework or to help them with their studies where they shouldn't be. Certainly, there is a place for AI in helping and research and delivering lessons and everything. And we're all looking at ways to use that. We're educating ourselves at the moment as a senior management team and as a staff body. We are looking at all of the resources available for us to understand AI more and for us to be able to make sure that we use it positively with our pupils and to educate them. But for the moment, I just want to reiterate again, if you have a child that is doing any coursework or any kind of research projects, just to be mindful that they shouldn't be relying on AI, because if they are using it, and we find, because we've got a lot of detection software, that they're using them for exams and coursework and everything like that, then it can actually, mean that they may be disqualified from that qualification, and we don't want that to happen. We are here to support the pupils, and we will be, again, making sure they understand exactly what they're doing. But I just wanted to, bring it into focus for you as well. And again, we'll be sending more information out on that as we learn about how to deal with it and what is allowed and what isn't allowed. So moving forwards, we are going to have a very busy term next term, and it's going to be those mocks after February half term. So I know that for years 11 and 13, that's often a very stressful time. First time for year 11s that they'll be really doing those proper mocks, a full set of mocks, a little bit different to the end of year 10 examinations. The timetables will be coming out next week, as will more information on revision classes and clinics. Mrs. will be sending that information out next week. We'll make sure that your children are armed with all of the resources they need. They need to know when and where they're going to be taking exams, and also where all of those resources are, so they can get a good head start on the study that they need to do over Christmas. Really important, if you've got a child in exam years, that they do have a really good rest over the Christmas holidays, but they do need to be doing some work. It can't just be 3 weeks off school. It needs to be sort of getting things in order, making sure the revision notes are there, and doing a good set of revision, maybe starting some practice papers. All of the information they need are on their teams. So, we're making sure that everything's there in place before they go off next week, and so that anything that they do over the Christmas holiday will be effective use of their time. We don't forget the other years as well. So just this is really looking forward now. We do, just to let you know, we do have summer exams. Information on those won't come out until nearer the middle to end of next term. We do them for every other year in the school within Key Stage 3, which is years 7 to 9. Pupils have in-class tests and assessments in the summer term, and the year 10s and 12s will have a full set of marks also at the beginning of summer term. But not to worry about those, just to know that they are around the corner, but all information will come to you when needed. So finally from me, so we are busy looking at those end of term reports that will be winging their way to you by the end of next week. This will be the first full set of reports, which will include summary comments on how your child is performing in those particular subjects. Okay, we're just going through our check-in process at the moment, and at the beginning of next week, the tutors will be discussing progress with your children within the tutor time, and looking at some targets for them, for academic targets moving into spring term. So they'll kind of know what's on those reports before they come home to you next week. But please do remember, if you are worried about your child's progress, if you're worried about anything that's come up on the report, if we've got any real causes for concern, we will have already been in touch with you. But, we are always here to answer your question. You can either come to me or your head of year, first port of call tutor that can put you in charge, in contact with the right person to deal with your concern. But we're always here We're here to help your children. The academic side, yes, it's really, really important, but it should never be a worry. Those exams, that anxiety should never be a worry. So we'll make sure that we've got everything in place to support them. Just wish you all a really, really happy, Merry Christmas. And I'll hand back to Mrs. Cunliffe.
Thank you very much. And I think the emphasis next week is very much on academic review, a time of reflection, a time to think what's worked well, what hasn't gone so well, and setting targets, as Mrs. Petros just said, for the spring term. And I'd just like to reiterate that Monday to Thursday next week, full-on lessons, curriculum being followed and schemes of work. There are no Christmas activities going to be involved in those days. Friday will have a bit more disruption because obviously we have our infant and junior school awards ceremony. We will have our final senior school assembly and the staff panto in the afternoon, as well as a tutor party time and a clear up. We will have the lost property out, and please can you make sure that everything comes home okay, because it's really disheartening when I walk around here in the holidays sometimes and see the amount of uniform that is left, or bags that are left, PE kit going a little bit mouldy and smelly over the holiday as well. So nag your children, we will nag them, and make sure we get that all that stuff back home to you. Okay, moving on to Mrs. Wall, who's going to talk about the personal outcomes and what the students have been doing and what the co-curricular programme looks like. Over to you, Mrs. Wall.
Thank you, Mrs. Cunliffe. So good afternoon, everybody. Yes, I'm going to talk about sort of the personal development and pupil outcomes from this term. So starting off with our co-curricular programme, it has been launched with gusto this year with over 100 clubs and societies, that's in the senior school, within our embedded and our extended co-curricular programme for the autumn. This ranges from things like Dungeons and Dragons to the Hidden Life of Maths and a personal favourite, the Carnivorous Plants Club. The spring programme will be shared with you on Tuesday, and there are opportunities for pupils to sign up for before, after school, and of course at lunchtime. So pupils, they will have the timetable emailed to them, and of course you as parents have got the ability to sign them up, so you can decide as a family which activities you would like your son or daughter to join in with. LVS 4, so this is the embedded element of our co-curricular programme, which takes place actually in the middle of the school day before lunch. So this has been in full swing this term, and we've had a wide range of activities, code breaking, stock market trading for year 11, mindfulness, the daily mile, always popular, some clay sculpting for year 10, introduction to Canva, the new voices choir, wonderful as always, and also big sing for year 7 and 8 when they all come to the theatre and just spread a bit of joy at that lovely point in the middle of the day. Year 7 have been participating in a new programme this year. It's called Ideas, and these are online courses where they can develop digital skills, enterprise and employability skills through the completion of programmes which they find interesting. So they have the autonomy to pick what sort of route they'd like to go down. And next term, we're going to be introducing a wellbeing course for year 8 to be working through the Teen Tips programme. Educational visits, gosh, what a busy term it's been. We've had 15 educational visits heading out, multiple residential, so we've had geography going out, art trip to Barcelona, the Spanish sports tour. Year 7 have had adventurous training opportunities, giving the chance to get to know each other a little bit more. Maths in Action for the Year 10 was out yesterday, a wonderful opportunity in London for our students, and then numerous theatre trips as always. So next term, we're looking forward to the Battlefield Tour for Year 9, marvellous. The geography trip heading off to South Africa, and of course, Expedition Snowline, the LVS Ascot ski trip, which I had the pleasure of running this year. Round Square, so you can see the little logo in the top right hand corner of the screen there. We were thrilled to recently hear that we've been accepted into the Round Square community. And if you're not sure, Round Square is like an internationally diverse network of a lot of like-minded schools from this country and also from countries all around the world and across sort of 6 continents. And they connect and collaborate, sharing good practice, and they offer amazing experiences for our pupils, just allowing them to develop their confidence and character and truly become global citizens. So there's a chance for pupils to attend Round Square conferences, participate in student exchanges, complete service projects, and also work directly with other schools actually in the classroom within their subject areas. So it's an amazing opportunity for us as a school and our staff and our pupils. The school colours. You may have seen previously on an LVS Perspectives that this has been something we have been redeveloping this year, and we've been so pleased to launch a new programme for the school colours, focusing on 4 areas. So we've got the academic, performing arts, sports, and the newly introduced service award. So this is a really excellent opportunity for our pupils to be recognised for their fantastic contributions to LVF Ascot, and also for the younger years, just to see the outstanding examples we have, and those characteristics and values that we're really looking for in our LVS Ascot pupils. And pupils can apply for their colours towards the end of the Easter term. And although the system has been redeveloped this year, they can use historical evidence. They may have been in plays, performances before. They may have been playing for the hockey team for the last 3 years. They can use that evidence when they're applying for their colours this year. And finally, the Duke of Edinburgh programme. So this programme has been really revitalised this year under the leadership of Mr. Fraser. And we have 76 bronze, 35 silver and 11 golds starting this year. So we're really, really excited about that. The pupils are currently working through the taught elements, so things like effective rucksack packing, basic map recognition, and route planning, very important for them. So they're going to be moving on to the more specifics of the maps and completing their skills and volunteering sections over the spring term. They've been supported by a fantastic group of dedicated and experienced staff. So I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Mrs. Jones, Mr. McDonald-Roberts, Mr. Newitt, Miss Bettridge, Mr. Unit, Mr. Bowler and Mrs. Macaulay, and of course Mr. Fraser, just for their ongoing commitment to providing that amazing opportunity for our pupils. So lots going on with personal development, and it is an area which we do embrace here at LVS Ascot to make sure that we are developing that rounded pupil who is able to excel in their academic areas, but also in their personal development, and developing them as an individual to give them the best possible life chances for the future.
Thank you, Mrs. Wall. A lot going on. Lots going on for our pupils there to keep them busy, which is really good. And talking about keeping pupils busy, we go over to Mr. Moore, our head of sixth form. Tell us all about them.
Hello, how are you doing? Well, it's been a busy old term this term. We had pretty much the biggest intake we've had, about 85 students coming in year 12. So that makes the common room nice and busy. We've had some new subjects introduced, and they've got off to a great start. BTEC Business, there was film studies at an A level, and sociology, and they've all got off to a cracking start. And then to help settle people in, within a couple of weeks we'd organised a sixth form dinner, which was done largely by the office holders, who have been fantastic this year. Jabari and Angelina, particularly as head boy and head girl, with their deputies Luke and Lisa, done a fantastic job, and the prefects have really got stuck in. There's a much higher profile this year, so that's a way that we're really going to go forward with. And that was my little clicky thing. There we go. And then something else that's really started to take off is the Wednesday afternoon, the extracurricular activities, where we've got a coach that goes to Bracknell Sports Centre every Wednesday afternoon, and they have free rein of that to organise their own five-a-side football or badminton, basketball, all sorts of things that are available, and that I'm sure we can only just build on. There's an eco project that's got half a dozen students actively involved in preservation work around the local area with the Bracknell Council. There's 2 primary schools that we're visiting regularly every week, with about 5 students going to each one. That's a superb experience, and a particular favourite of mine is the care home, where there's about 7 or 8 students who regularly go to talk to the people inside the care home, and I know that's a highlight for their week. So again, there's some things that we can build on, and going forward I'd like to see everyone spend a little bit of time doing something like that. One of the highlights of the term was the development day, where the WOW group put together a great activity in the morning where people found out about their personality types and working in teams, and then 2 very, very good speakers, and in the afternoon a bit of a highlight where there were about 20 people came in various fields of expertise and experience, and gave a 20-minute talk to groups of students in a subject of their interest. That was a fantastic opportunity, and I think it's one that we might be looking to repeat, hopefully for Year 13, but definitely on an annual basis for Year 12s. And then coming on throughout the year, we've got looking at personal development, always looking at the next stage. The careers officer, Rosie Wallace, has started, who's been just superb, absolutely fantastic, a wealth of experience, really knows what she's doing. She's seen a huge proportion of Year 12 and Year 11 already, and she'll be able to spread around the school, but really focusing, I think, on Year 11s and 12s. There's the Ascot Careers Fair up at the racecourse earlier in the year. There's one for the Year 12s in March at Farnborough. That's all the UCAS, the universities, every university goes there, and a lot of apprenticeships now. We've joined Unifrog, which I think has been, it's probably the single best piece of educational software I've ever seen. That's a real guidance, a real help. All Year 12s and 13s are on that. The development day will be going, and work experience, I think we're going to be looking at doing it in a slightly different way. I'll get in touch with you over Christmas, but rather than having it as 1 week in June, when virtually every, perhaps Year 10 and 12 is looking for work experience, we're going to take advantage of our longer holidays and encourage students to have not just one work experience, but 2 or 3 throughout their sixth form, where perhaps they turn up for 2 days here, 1 day there, and look at a variety of fields so they really can experience different areas of work. And it's as important to find out what you don't like as what you do like. And I think that will give us the opportunities to do that. In the new year, I'll be doing a perspectives, mainly aimed, I think, at, that'll be for Year 13 parents, with advice on what happens next, because the UCAS applications will be going in now. But things like the finance, how to make choices, and there's absolutely no rush in that. We've got till May, the end of May, before the students have to choose what are their preferred and their insurance choice. And really looking ahead at sixth form life, at post sixth form life, for our students. And something as well that I'm really keen to encourage is looking at apprenticeships. And if you're still watching me from lower down in the school, then this is something that is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The apprenticeship route, the graduate apprenticeship, is such a fantastic alternative to university. University's still got its big place, certainly for LVS students, but apprenticeships increasingly so. So I think that's all our big news. And a happy Christmas from me. Thank you very much.
Lots going on.
Lots going. It's busy. It's great. It's a great atmosphere down there. It's really positive. It's still one of those sixth form areas that is very inclusive. You obviously got friendship groups, but it's a fantastic atmosphere. It's very positive. We've had a clear run of work, so they've covered a lot of the syllabus. The mocks for Year 13 coming up, and that's something else I'd say is, if any of your 12 and 13 students are at home and they think they've got 3 weeks off where they can do nothing, I think they really need a little nudge. It's not 3 weeks of solid work I'm looking for, but they've really got to keep on touch with it and make sure that when they come back in January, they're really fresh, that it's not going to take them a week to get back in. It's an opportunity to make sure they understood what's happened in the last term and look forward to the next. But it's definitely not just 3 weeks off, please. So thank you.
And I think, young people need to realise that work soon mounts up as well, doesn't it? So
it does,
you've only got to lapse a little bit and it all starts piling up and becomes a little bit too much and can be quite overwhelming.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people in the country who will be working, who they're competing against, and it is competitive. It's not an individually assessed piece of work. It's competitively assessed, and so they've really got to make sure that they stay in the race where they deserve to be.
And just talking about scholarships, Sharon brought this up, but when I read the application letters, and those applications were absolutely superb, weren't they?
The quality of students is tremendous, and their initiative and self-motivation, that's another big thing that stands out.
And very well written letters as well.
Yeah.
Real passion for learning and wanting to be in the sixth form. And you can see why our sixth form is so popular.
It is, yeah.
It's a very special place
Yeah,
to be.
it's a great place, and it's a great place for all abilities. And whether you're looking, trying to nudge yourself up from an A to an A star or from a D to a C, it really is a fantastic environment to be in.
Lovely. Well, thank you
Okay.
very much. We're
Thank you
going to
very
move on
much.
to sport now.
Superb.
Okay, over to Mr. and Mrs. Cow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's been another really, really busy term of sport, with lots and lots of success across the board. So starting off with the swimming, as Mrs. Eisen said earlier, we had the infant and junior school and the senior school went over to the ISA regional qualifiers, and we won a number of medals there. Some highlights were Leo, who came first in the 50-meter freestyle and second in the 50-meter butterfly. We had Sam, who was second in the 50 butterfly. Livy, second for the 50-meter butterfly and second for the 200 individual medley. Joe, who was second for the 200 medley as well, and also the 100-meter backstroke. And then we also placed third in the 4x50 freestyle relay and second for the 4x50 medley relay. So huge success in the pool. And off the back of that, we had our 3 pupils, as mentioned, attending the ISA National Swimming event, which was at the London Aquatic Centre. So fantastic experience for them there. And they did really, really well. We had Kai finishing in 5th place. Leo picked up 3 bronze medals. And then Sophia became a national champion, winning gold in the 4x200 free. So well done to all those pupils there. In hockey, again, lots and lots of success across all teams here. So our under 13 girls won the Ascot Schools tournament over at St Mary's. The under 14 girls, they placed third at the Berkshire Schools Cup tournament. And there were some really, really strong schools there. They beat Wellington along the way, which was a really nice scalp. They're actually heading to the regionals next Tuesday, where they'll represent Berkshire. So good luck to those girls going to represent the school there. And the under 15 girls, they went over to the ISA Nationals at Lee Valley National Hockey Centre. Did brilliantly, getting to the plate final, coming second, so gaining silver medal. So well done to those girls. And finally, in the hockey, our first team finished second in the Super 8s. Now, this is our highest finish, I think, since I've been at the school, certainly in the last 7 years. They narrowly missed out. They didn't actually lose a game. They missed out on goal difference, I think. So really, really strong from them. Some highlights of the rugby, our under 14 boys had a really strong season, won over 80% of all their games. And a real highlight for me this time was heading over to the Berkshire Rugby Festival with Mr. Boyd and the under 12 boys, the year 7 boys. I don't often get to see much of the rugby because I'm over with the hockey. But they won 6 out of their 8 games, and I was so impressed with their team spirit, the level of performance that they put in. It was absolutely brilliant. So well done to those boys. Our basketball program this year has really developed. We've introduced our Pass and Play Academy. So we've set up a link with Teo, who is a GB and Surrey Storm professional basketball player, sorry. He does an academy on a Thursday after school. We've also had some guest sessions with players such as Jordan Williams, who's a current professional player and also represents Great Britain. Off the back of this, our under 14s have finished second in the Berkshire League. So they progressed to the next round after Christmas for the first time. And our first team have also progressed to the next round of the Berkshires after Christmas, which again is a first for them. So some really, really strong performances there. In football, we hosted our annual ISA Girls Festival earlier in the term. Again, it's always a highlight of the year. We've got over 200 girls on site from under 11s, 13s and 15s. It's packed out on the field. Everybody loves it. Our under 11 girls got all the way to the plate final. So brilliant from them to pick up some medals. The under 13 boys have continued on their success from last season, where they got all the way to the national final. They're currently into round 3. They're off to King's Academy today in London to take them on. So good luck to them. And our under 14 boys are also doing really well in the national competition. They won 7-2 last night in round 2. So they're into round 3 after Christmas. In golf, again, something that's really developing, and we've had lots and lots of fixtures being pushed by Mr. Villas. We had a really strong run of results for our first team. They got all the way to the regional semi-finals of the ISGA match play competition, but narrowly lost out 2-1. And now I'm going to hand over to Mam. He's going to talk a bit about the sports tour.
Yep, so it seems like a long time ago now that we were in sunny Barcelona, but in the October half term, we took 43 pupils to Barcelona for a sports tour in volleyball, which is for a first time, football and basketball as well. So it's great to see the pupils not only take part in a sport that we're quite familiar with the football, and learn the culture of football out there, but as well as that, we had some students that played volleyball for the first time and exposed themselves to a new sport, which has actually led us into trying to provide a bit more provision for that in the summer, as well as the basketball through Mr. Bovington's determination with that program, taking pupils on a basketball sports tour where they were able to play at the Olympic Centre where Barcelona basketball team play, was just a fantastic opportunity for them. Also in October, we ran our first ever Great Ormond Street charity event. So we hosted that on a Saturday towards the end of the half term, and we actually managed to raise £620 for that charity. As I said, it's the first time we've ever managed to do it. It was for all years, it was for parents, and I know that there was many members of staff that came and helped out that day and witnessed what a great atmosphere there was, just to see so many people participate and enjoy being out there, whether they were walking, running. We had people dressed up in outfits that they won special prizes for, but it was just really nice to provide a different opportunity for the pupils, and also for a really worthy cause as well. Last couple of things really is just some individual accolades that we have. We have our achievement board downstairs when you come into the sports foyer, and we are readily updating that and trying to reach out to parents and students to please let us know, how you're getting on, because we really want to celebrate your success. And the most recent successes that we'd like to celebrate is some pupils that have got into the county hockey programme at Berkshire. So that's Seren, Michaela, Holly and Amber. As well as, I know Holly has also got into the Surrey programme, so fantastic effort from them. That all goes down to them tirelessly working outside of school on their skills to achieve that. And we've also had in the netball some really wonderful achievements with Ella and Darcy selected for the Surrey Storm Aspire programme, which is absolutely fantastic. I know that there was a lot of children trying to get into that programme, and it was whittled down with many trials. It was quite a grueling process, so really good resilience and determination from those girls to achieve that, and we're really looking forward to seeing how they get on with that. So please do continue to send us your successes, because we love to share them. We love to put your pictures down on the board so we can actually celebrate that with you. And then really looking ahead is next week. So it's crunch time. It's house sport, house hockey and house rugby, which is next Thursday. Always a massive event. We can't wait to see you all out there in your house colours, and as well as pupils that maybe don't want to participate to come out and support, but it's always a huge event. And we'll also be giving out our participation certificates that work towards the colours scheme, as Mrs. Wall previously mentioned, and our end of season awards, where there will be a most improved and a player of the season for each team. So there's lots of exciting things happening next week. And then moving on to January, the new year, 2024, it sounds weird to say, is our netball and our football programme. Netball usually is with the girls and football is with the boys, but we do have some block girls football fixtures in. As Mrs. Petro said, we have girls football is very up and coming at the moment. And especially I think the success of the Lionesses has really driven that. So we are really proud to try and drive that as well. And it's definitely, there is an interest from the pupils. So we're really looking forward to seeing where that goes and where that takes us. But no, just have a wonderful Christmas. And from the PE department, stay fit, stay active, work off a little bit of that Christmas chocolate. And we look forward to seeing you coming back in January, ready and raring to go.
That's lovely. Thank you so much. What a dynamic school, what a dynamic department as well. So thank you very much to both of you and the people that you have working for you. Just absolutely amazing. We've got a question about lost property. I'm going to go straight back to the office now. I'm going to confirm where that be and what days it will be, and we'll get that out to you in a communication this afternoon. But meanwhile, we're coming to the end now. There's not many questions, but I'm always here. You can always email me, come and see us if you need to. And we've still got a week to go. So it feels like the end of term. You had an end of term roundup, but we've got a busy week next week. We hope to see you at many of the events next week. I think the highlight for us will be the Borders Christmas dinner on Monday evening, which is always superb. And then obviously the big school Christmas lunch, which will be on Friday. Okay, and thank you, Mrs. Hayward, for saying another great term. Thank you to everyone. Yeah, do you know what? This is an amazing school. I inspect schools, I travel, and I see a lot of schools. And I love coming home. I love coming back to LVS Ascot because it really is unique. Everybody works so hard. And thank you to you, parents, staff and pupils, for making LVS what it is. And as always, I am proud to be LVS Ascot. Over and out. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.